Alrighty, here we go. We are going to cruise along now in Module 5. Since we've done some review, you've got percents fresh in your head. And here we go. So I need you to take out your notes packet that you have. We're going to get some examples in here and then cruise right along. All right. So in your notes, the very first thing on there typically is we talk about what's our essential question. In some classes, you might word this as your learning target. They basically are the same thing, just one is worded as a statement. A learning target would say, I can. The essential question is, how do I? So that's what we're doing right now. How do I use percents to describe change? That's really what the percent of increase and decrease is all going to be about today. And again, a reminder, pause the video anytime you need to catch up. You have 3 vocabulary words here, so let's tackle these. All right, percent. You've talked about percent for a long time in your long history with math. You probably are familiar with seeing that symbol, which represents percent. And really what it means is it means divide by 100. It's a number that is represented as a number over 100 or out of 100. And sometimes we write it as a decimal, sometimes you write it as a fraction, and many times we write it as a percentage. So it's thought of as a ratio that compares a number to 100, okay? Now, percent increase and decrease. So here's how we talk about this. This is a specific percent. And when we talk about increase, what we're talking about is I want to find the percent that represents how much something increased. So I'm going to write it this way. How much something increases could be it could be money, it could be points, it could be minutes, it could be pages, it could be some sort of countable thing. How much something increases. And then you compare that or divide it by. So you see how I'm making this gigantic fraction? How much something increases compared to where was your original or starting value? Okay, that fraction then you can turn into a decimal, which then you can write as a percent, and that would be the percent that something increases. Now, if you're quick, you might be able to figure out how we're going to define the percent of decrease. If this was how much something increases divided by the original amount, and I guess I should say amount there, then the percent decrease means how much something, ta-da, decreases divided by the original amount. Okay, so we've got a couple different ways and different scenarios with the type of questions that you're going to be asked to figure out today in your assignment. So let's run through some examples. Okay, here we go. Amber got a raise and her hourly wage increased from $8 to $9.50. What is the percent of increase? Here's how I like to tackle these. Okay, here's my starting number. Then I have some kind of change, and then I have an ending number. Okay, so this time I knew I started at 8, I ended at 9.50. We have to figure out how much did it change. Well, I can tell the amount, how much it changed from 8 to 9.50. That went up $1.50. Okay, so that's the amount. If I'm asking you what is the percent that it changed, then we need to take that $1.50 and compare that to the starting amount, which was $8. All right, smarty pants, grab that calculator because I definitely don't want to do that division by hand. And when you take $1.50 divided by 8, you end up with this decimal, 1,875 ten-thousandths. Turn that into a percent, 18 and 75/100%, or 18 3/4%. Okay, now this direction didn't tell us if they wanted us to round it, and since it terminated right there, I'm just going to leave that as is. Boom. There's the percent that it changed from 8 to 950. Now, remember how the other day you were doing just straight old calculations of percent? Okay, so if I said 18.75%, you could double check. If you took 8 times 18.75%, if we were taking percent of a number, you're going to end up with 1.5, and then we'd add that on to get the end number. See? All comes full circle. Now, what if I asked you, I'm going to skip over this one and we're going to come back to it. So jump to this example. The number of people signed up for a bus trip increased from 32. I'm starting at 32. Then I have some sort of change here. And then I end at 45. Okay, it went from 32 to 45. What is the percent that it increased? Or in other words, what's the percent that it changed? Well, first of all, I can find out the amount that it changed. The amount that it changed went from 32 to 45, so that was 13 people. What is that as the percent? To figure that out, we say, well, it changed 13 people, and I started at 32. So go ahead, grab your calculator, take 13 divided by 32, and we get this lovely decimal, 4,000 or 40,625 hundred-thousandths. Jinkies. Let's turn that into a percent. 40.625, or 40 5/8%. If they asked, oh, wait, we're not done. I had to go back and read our instructions. This time it said, will you round this to the nearest percent? So round this to the nearest whole number. That would be approximately 41%. Now we're done. Whew, glad I went and read that. So now let's go back here. It said, what does 100% increase mean? Well, 100%, first of all, means the full amount of the original, or the full amount equal to the original. It's equal to the original. So if we're increasing, that means we're increasing by a whole amount again, which means your end result is doubled. Okay, so the result is twice as much from what you started with. Now, if that doesn't make sense, I always think it's a good idea to have an example. So let's go back to talking about Amber. Okay, remember she was making $8 an hour to start with? What if she actually had 100% increase? That means her raise would have been also $8, which means her ending amount would have been $16, which is double what she started with. That is what 100% increase would be. Nice. I think I would like 100% increase. All right, let's talk about poor David here, because if David is like a number of adults, they might not live very close to where they have to work. So David moved from a house that's 89 miles away from his workplace. So at the start, oofda, David, you're 89 miles away. Now, we don't know what the change is yet, but I know that he moved to a new house, and now his ending spot here, he's only 51 miles away. Now, in my world, that's still too far for daily commute, but hey, some people, that's just the demands of the type of job they have, and they want to stay in their current house. So what is the percent decrease? We went from 89 to 51 in the distance from his home to his workplace. So how much did we change here from 89 to 51? Looks like we changed by 38 miles. Okay. That was a decrease. Some people might actually call that negative then to indicate it's negative or decreasing. You can either use the words or use a negative sign. So we changed by 38. I'm just going to use 38. That was the change. My starting value was 89. Grab your calculator because having a denominator of 89, I know is going to give me some nasty decimal here. So here's what happens. Notice I'm changing this to approximately right now because I know I'm going to cut this off somehow. I start with 426 and then I have 966 and it just keeps going. And I can't even really tell right now with the 10-digit display where it's repeating. I know because it's a fraction of integers, it's going to repeat, but I don't know where. So I'm just going to put some dots there. That's called your ellipsis. I know it keeps going. I'm going to cut it off. Change it to a percent. 42 point. I'm going to round it to the tenths. So instead of 6, because a 9 was in the next place, I'm going to call it 42 7/10%. Okay, there you go. Regular price of a scooter is $65.50. So this is your original or your starting number. I kind of flip-flop and change words off and on. So if that bothers you, I'm sorry. I don't intend it to be. It's just they're both appropriate vocab words there. Now it's on sale. So now I've got my sale price or my ending price. It's $52.40. So what is the change? What is the difference? So first of all, we have to find the amount. So let's go here. $65.50 minus $52.40. I believe that gives me $13.10. That's how much the price dropped. It was a decrease. I am asking here, what is the percent decrease from the regular original to the sale price? So now you have to take how much did it change divided by the original price, $65.50. Thank you, whoever invented the calculator, because I really hate long division with decimals. But, oh, grab your calculator. Look how nice this turns out. Who'd have thought that? So guess what? It is a 20% decrease. So perhaps what happened at the store there? This was the price tag on that scooter, had a little sign, 20% off. That's how much your discount was. This is the sale price that rings up at the register when you go to checkout. Now, take out your notes. You already have your notes out. Now, this is a different type of problem. Notice how we always had our start number, and then we have an end number. And then in between, we talked about how something changed. Okay, so let's look at this situation. A shoe sales associate earned $300 in August. Okay, so August is your starting number. In September, it said she earned, changed, I'll just say change. She earned 8% more. 8% increase, in other words. How much did she earn in September? I don't know. But guess what? You can figure it out. If you know the percent that it increased, we can figure out the amount here. So take 8% times 300, and let's figure out how much her earnings went up. When you crank this out, we get $24. Okay, so that means since it was an increase, you're going to take 300 plus that increase of $24. That gives me her ending amount for September as $324. Sweet. All right, so you have two types of problems. The majority of your examples were finding this change and the percent that it changed. Some of your problems, however, are going to be here finding what was the ending. And I give you the percent that it changed. So you got to be able to do it both ways. Go ahead, take out your textbook. Oh, wait, we have some problems back here. Oh, I forgot about this. Lesson quiz. Find each percent increase or decrease to the nearest percent for these two. What I want you to do is pause the video, do these problems, come back and check. On your mark, get set, go. Here's the start. Here's the end. How much did you change? We went up 26. When you go to find the percent that it changed, you have to take 26 over 14. Yeah, you changed by more than 100%. So when you go to calculate this one and you take 26 divided by 14, I hope you realize that you're almost actually at 200% there, because 28 out of 14 would actually give you 200%. This one ends up being about 185.7%, but hang on, this said to the nearest percent. So let's round that on up to 186. From 72 to 50. All right, so this one's decreasing. It's dropping. I'm starting at 72. I'm ending down here at 50. How much did we change? Well, I changed by dropping 22 points. So what is that as a percent? Take 22 out of 72. 22 out of 72. You should get approximately 30.5%, or rounding to the nearest whole number is 31%. I'm starting at 12. Oh, these are the different ones now. I'm starting at $12. What I'm changing is I'm changing 20%. And it's an increase. What's your ending amount? Find the new amount. What are you ending at? Well, you better take 20% times 12. That gives you $2.40. Add that on, $14.40. There you go. On this one, 36 grams, that's your starting amount. I have a 45% change, and it's going to be a decrease. So take 45% times 36. When you do that one, we get this value, 16 2/10. Now hold on, decrease. So you're going to have to take 36 and drop it, or subtract 16 2/10. There's your final. Ooh, we better label that grams. All right, let's check on these last two. I'm starting with 48 eggs. I'm changing it by 30%, and I'm 30% less. That means I'm going to subtract. Let's find out how much you're going to change. Take 30% times 48. 30% times 48 gives us 14.4. That's how much you have to subtract to get your ending number. You got to take 48 minus 14.4. When I do that, I get 33.6. Label eggs. Wait a minute. I can't really have 0.6 eggs. That doesn't make sense. So let's round that off so it makes more sense. I'm going to round up because it was 6/10 there. And I just want to make sure I've got enough eggs. So I'll round up just to be safe. Last one, starting number for Priscilla. She reads 10 pages in her book each night. Wow, she's pretty disciplined. I'm going to read 10 pages. Then here's what's going to happen. She's going to change by a 30% increase. Okay? Your job is to find out the ending value. Well, if it's a 30% increase, take 30% times 10. That gives us 3. All right, 10, 3. 10, 3. It's an increase, so you're adding 13 pages. Boom chaka-lucka. Now we're cooking. Here's what I want you to do. You turn in your book to page 144, and I want you to work on this. This is page 144 to 146, I believe. I want you to do problems 1 through 27. Good luck. May the force be with you.